everybody. We just got out of court for the morning. It is lunch here. We've got about 30-40 minutes before we get back. We had a very interesting morning. Three witnesses took the stand. It is raining down here. Pretty dreary out this morning. Looks like it's a little colder out. Today we might be wrapping it up with the defense. We had a packed courthouse from floor 9 and floor 9 and 13 both were packed. So, what's that? Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks.
You know what?
Yep, okay, thanks.
Okay, we'll see you in front again.
Okay, thanks, okay. Somebody stopped there along the road to say hi to me. My family did make it here. They made it here about 2 o'clock this morning. They didn't come into court, but they will be in town tomorrow, and they'll also be here for the march tomorrow evening from 7 o'clock till 10. So anyway, we'll get back to court here real quick. We had 3 witnesses that took the stand today. We had a ex-FBI agent and also police officer that testified for the defense. He is right now he owns his own private detective service out of Kansas City, Missouri area. He came in as an expert witness. He mainly testified on his training for weapons and guns and what safety was and what he does. Oh, there we go. We're back on. We lost connection.
Hey, guys.
Kelly made it down here, but she slept in.
Oh, stop. I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock this morning. Come on.
The family did make it, though. So we have the family here now. We have a weak connection here, it says. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the weather. But, so our first witness was an expert witness. He was an ex-FBI agent and former police officer. He testified mainly on gun training and as an expert and what safety was for a gun and what was threatening for somebody that had a gun. Our second witness was Sheriff Mack. He's out of Arizona. He's a former sheriff, a constitutional sheriff. We had a real good testimony with him. He was saying how he tried to contact Sheriff Ward. He talked to him a few times, trying to tell him what his duties was as a sheriff of a county and how he was the Supreme Court of the supreme law of the land, and how he also talked to Bundy. We're losing connection down here, probably because of the weather here. But our last witness that's still on the stand, and we'll resume after lunch, is Shawna Cox. We got to actually see the witness of the video for the first time of the ride in LaVoy's truck. We got to see the video of where LaVoy was shot, the ride where the vehicle had been shot several times, and the rest of the remainder 3 people in the vehicle, which was Ryan Bundy, Shawna Cox, and Victoria Sharp. So that was the first time that evidence had been allowed to be introduced. Shawna Cox is going to be still continuing on the stand and wrapping it up shortly after lunch. It looks like today the defense team is planning on wrapping everything up and closing their side of it today. Tomorrow, the prosecution most likely will take it back and start their closing arguments. So it's down to the end here. It's last few days of court. Sometime next week, this will most likely be over. And the jury will go into deliberations here probably towards the 1st to the middle of next week. I seen someone just asked there a second ago if the family made it. The family did make it. My wife and 7 kids made it. They did not come to court. They got here about 2 o'clock in the morning, and they're still resting up this morning. But they will be down here tomorrow, especially after court. They're going to come down here and for the Friday evening march. So we'll have the 7 children and my wife down here for that march. So hopefully we have a big crowd. Look forward to seeing everybody. We will have another update tonight after court about 5 o'clock, and we'll tell you how things end up today and if we're going to continue in anything tomorrow. There will be court tomorrow. We just don't know if the defense team is going to have anything. We have a small crowd just huddling there waiting on me over here in the rain. Most everybody's either at lunch right now or up in the courtroom. We do have a short lunch break again today. The judge is pushing things right on through, trying to get things finished up here. If anybody has a few questions, I'll take them here for the next couple of minutes. I see someone from New Zealand was on here. April, I'll give Rebecca and the kids a hug when I see them here later today. I'm kind of losing my voice. Had a long day yesterday and a lot going on the day. The judge has been limiting the witnesses, not allowing them to say much. She's also cut back a lot of their witnesses that they wanted to have on the stand and not allowing them to have those witnesses. So hello everybody, good afternoon. This is a little bit after court today. We have finished another long day, and we'll be back tomorrow again at 8 a.m. to start court again. Matthew and I, we're going to discuss some things that happened today. So I guess I'll let you go ahead and start. What do you think? How did court go today?
I thought it went very well. It seemed like the judge was a lot more humble today. Did it seem like that?
She did. She was going overboard to take care of positions that she wanted them to do. She just cuts us off. So that was awesome to see. But she knows it's about to the end of it too. So we had the FBI agent Stephenson. He was a detective, ex-FBI agent, Mr. Stephenson from Kansas City, Missouri. He testified on the stand this morning. He was one of the first ones. And then we had Sheriff Mack on the stand today, discussing different things and how he talked to Sheriff Ward, trying to work out the situation. And then we had the highlight of this morning's testimony, which was Shawna Cox. And that we got to watch the video of LaVoy Finicum, the ride there to finish up till where the point he got shot. They still did shut it off, and they didn't show anything of LaVoy Finicum except for you could hear the shooting there. They still don't want that truth being put out. It's pretty sad. But that was an emotional testimony, but well worth having in this court for the jury to hear. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
About Shawna Cox and
oh yeah. That was brought a lot of tears to everybody's eyes. I would imagine that it helped the jury kind of find their empathy for us a little bit. But she did a great job. I was surprised that they let all that video footage in there to be admitted to evidence.
Well, I understand they made a deal that with Shawna's testimony, they would allow the video to be played. That was the only reason they would let that video be played. Other than that, it's been shut down every time they tried to play it through the whole trial. It hasn't been allowed. That with Shawna's testimony, they agreed to allow this video to be played. So that kind of brought up the last few moments, or the last couple of hours of the standoffs per se, of the protest out there, of how There was an illegal stop. It was never served any warrants. It was unmarked vehicles that was hard to identify. They did identify themselves as Oregon State Police, but they had no names, no uniforms. All that got brought up before the jury today, which is very important evidence of how LaVoy Finicum was murdered. So I was glad to see that evidence put into play. Tomorrow, we are going to be closing with the defense by about noon. So this case is wrapping up quick. We're going to hear a testimony probably starting out tomorrow morning of David Fry, which up until this point, David Fry had no intentions on testifying, but he's going to take the stand tomorrow. It's probably going to take an hour or so, it looks like, at the most, with his testimony, and then we have a couple other witnesses coming in. I'm not 100% sure which of those other two witnesses. I have some names, but I'm not for sure, so till tomorrow we'll have to just update you on those. But David Fry is for sure going to testify, and possibly two other witnesses. And then the defense team plans on resting. We will probably talk about in the afternoon jury instructions, things like that. They'll let the jury go home, and between the government and the defense team, they're going to go over the rules of the instructions for the jury for the following week. The government plans on starting Monday with their closing statements or rebuttal of what happened here. They have a plan on bringing 5 witnesses in to testify on Monday, and then they plan on having one final rebuttal on Tuesday, and then turning it over to the jury if everything goes as planned. Is that what you understood too, Matthew?
Yeah. I'd like to add that Sheriff Mack and Ryan Bundy brought up a pretty good point when Ammon met Sheriff Ward at the refuge, and how vulnerable Ammon was, and how Ward could have arrested him at that moment, but he would have had to charge him with trespassing, which is what we wanted in the first place, but because we were trying to adversely possess the refuge for the people of Harney County. Ryan Bundy tried to ask Mack about that, but it was objected to and sustained by the judge. Luckily, she didn't object to it herself like she had been for a month about these issues, just yelling out, "Sustained, oh, that objection sustained," and the prosecution never objected to it. So seems like to me she's no longer being a prosecutor and a judge at the same time. I thought that was cool, that issue was brought up there.
That was really good. It really was.
And Diane Halkus mentioned about how Neil Wampler was pretty well educated about the Nuremberg trials. I saw the prosecution get kind of nervous there, because I'm sure that they're going to be tried in a similar proceeding.
Well, that kind of wraps up today. Tomorrow, Friday, we're going to be back down here at court early. We have to be in the courtroom by 8 o'clock to get our seats. It's been packed on floor 9 and 13 both. And then tomorrow after court, we'll be out here in front of the jail, bringing more awareness to everything that's going on. We have a rally that starts, a prayer visual that starts at 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We invite everyone to come down and join us. We'll do a march around the jail. We'll do some singing, some hollering up to the prisoners up top and let them know we're still here. We're also going to have Glenn blow the shofar again.
Blow the shofar. I'll be there.
He's the highlight of our rallies and of these protests. So, God bless everybody. Thanks for joining, and we will be back tomorrow at noon to give you some more updates. Thank you. Makes it way easier to do it with someone else is holding it.